Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the His and Her Rewatch podcast, where we watch movies that he likes.
And watch movies that she likes.
I'm the His, Caleb, and with me, as always, my forever favorite, my wife, the Her, Megan. Megan, welcome back to another episode.
Thanks for having me again.
Oh, you're so kind. Oh, well, we're back at it. Hasn't been that long since we recorded our last one. I'm really excited about this one. I'm excited because I think the last two episodes...
Because it was my pick. Is that why you're excited?
It's your pick. I'm excited what you had to say. I'm excited because after our last two episodes, I was really into those. I think we did a great job on those. They're our best ones yet, especially the Clueless one. Haven't quite finished...
My pick.
Your pick. I haven't quite finished the Gladiator editing and stuff, but I do think we did a great job on that one. Hope it turns out as good. So I hope everybody's enjoying it, and we're chugging right along. I hope if you are liking it, I hope you're liking and subscribing and following us on our socials and leaving reviews and 5-star ratings. It really helps us. I'm not quite sure what the algorithms are for that kind of stuff, but yeah. I'm sure it helps. So talk about our socials and stuff real quick.
Yeah, so socials are at His and Her Rewatch on Instagram, and same thing on Facebook, but it's his and then the and sign, His and Her Rewatch on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yep.
And then our podcast sites for wherever you are listening. We got Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. So I hope you find us on there, all of them. And I hope you're enjoying them. Like I said, if you're whatever platform you are listening on, leave us a review and a 5-star rating. So,
well, it doesn't have to be a 5-star. Just
no, it has to be a 5-star. It has to be a 5-star, and it has to be a really good review. And
how amazing you are.
Yes. Please talk good things about me. We already know Megan's great. We already know all that. She's amazing. She's the best co-host you could ask for.
Oh, I try.
So,
the best co-host you could ever ask for.
I could ever ask for. Anyone.
Isn't that what you said?
I don't know what I said.
I think it's exactly what you said. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of something clever, but then it just came out exactly what you said. So, guess that was right.
I did the best I could from the beginning. So, before we get into our first movie, I'm listening to some of our podcasts. I do want to ask you, just so the audience can learn more about us, what, because you talk about a couple of movies that you, just the rewatchables as examples for your reviews and different
like my
things.
Criteria.
Yeah. And so I want to hear, what are like your three, maybe different genres, different times. Doesn't have to be consistently, it can be all over the place, but what are three of your most rewatchable movies? Like, it's on TV, you're going to turn it on. If it's on, you click over, you just hit play, or you click over and you just don't have to worry about it. You know you're going to enjoy it. Doesn't matter. But you can be doing the dishes while you're watching it, or sit down and really look into it and enjoy it. But what are some movies for you that you would like?
Well, I'm glad you dragged that out because I totally forgot.
I know. I saw it in your eyes that you needed me to drag that out.
Well, thank you. I got it now. I got it. It was that quick.
Okay, good.
No, I remember you asking me that you were going to say that, and I completely forgot to think about it.
I knew you said you wanted to wing it. I was trying to give you a little bit of a volley, but
appreciate it, but I got it now.
I was like, okay, you do you, boo.
I got it. Okay, well, I've already said the Mrs. Doubtfire one.
I know Mrs. Doubtfire.
So I'll add that one.
Okay. Easy one.
Yeah, easy one. But I also would say Talladega Nights.
Oh, okay. Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights.
That's a good one. I like that.
It comes on TV a lot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm basing off of. I don't normally just turn on a movie like on Netflix or whatever unless it's like a documentary or a movie we haven't seen before. Obviously.
Usually it's stuff you haven't seen, and not stuff we rewatch.
No, if we were going to rewatch, it's usually like a TV show or something. But and then I would say the other one would be Miss Congeniality.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. I love all of those. Those are the best.
I like
and
that.
And then, I wouldn't mind turning on like a Disney movie. Like if there's a cartoon Disney movie on.
Well, there's some good classic ones that we just enjoyed to put on while you're doesn't really matter. So
Yeah, and it's safe for children.
yeah, for sure.
What about you? What do you say? I know you probably already planned this out, so
Yeah,
go ahead.
I had
I'm
time.
not gonna.
I did have time to think about this.
carry it out.
I know, right? So I'm kind of all over, but
Mine were all over.
no, yours are all over.
Okay.
But I'm the same thing
Well,
for me.
they're all
But
kind of
like
family-friendly.
one of my big ones would be like Top Gun. I really like Top Gun. That one I can just turn on. If it's on, I'm gonna turn it on. Tommy Boy. I know you hate Tommy Boy.
Oh, I thought of another one.
Okay.
You go back.
Let
to
me
it.
finish mine.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Tommy Boy is a good one. I mean, I grew up with that one. Me and my best friend growing up, we would just. I mean, I could probably quote the whole movie.
I know, you
We
do.
would get
You
into.
do.
Yeah. Every so often, me and him just get in quotes back and forth. We just quote the movie back and forth on text, and just it's.
I know
it's
you'll
fun.
do quotes from there, and I'm like, okay. And then you're like, it's from Tommy Boy. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like yeah.
I don't know. I think I've seen that movie maybe once or twice, only with you, and I don't want to see it ever again.
I know. I was.
It's super dumb, and I love dumb movies, but that one's real dumb.
No, it's great. It is so funny. It's so rewatchable. So many great lines in it.
Is that the one when they have that deer in the car, or is that a different one?
Yeah, that's Tommy Boy.
Okay,
That's Tommy Boy. Yep.
it's
With-
okay. There are some funny parts in it.
With Chris Farley and David
That's a
Spade.
really funny part.
Yeah, that's a funny part. That is a funny part. There's a lot of funny parts in
Yeah.
it. And they also did another one together, Black Sheep. That
I think that's the one I really don't like, yeah.
It's pretty good. It's not as good as Tommy Boy, but I like.
Is that your
those.
last one?
And then no,
No.
that's not my other one.
I'm like, you're
And
gonna
then-
do two from Chris Farley.
I know, right? And then Remember the Titans. That is a great feel-good movie. I could turn it on, watch it, any part of that, and just get into it from there. So many good feelings in that one. Funny.
Well, our movies are really different.
They are, yeah. And that's why we're doing the podcast, right?
I know they're so different.
So what was your other one?
My other one was Thor.
Thor, okay.
Thor, yeah.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, I mean any of them really. I really
know.
like that whole
Well,
storyline
yeah, I think
because they're on a lot.
they are in a lot. I will say that most superhero movies,
Yeah, they kind of go all together.
I will turn those on and watch those, especially the MCU movies and some of the older Marvel and a couple of the DC ones that are good.
Well, the kids like them too.
The kids like it, and like I said, it's safe enough. They've seen them also. I can just flip it through, can't find nothing on, just to put on the TV for a little bit, to walk in and out of. If a superhero movie's on too, I'll probably turn it on. Thor Ragnarok is probably one of the most rewatchable ones that we have. And otherwise, Captain America: The Winter Soldier is the best MCU movie still, and I'll turn
In
that
your
one on,
opinion.
in my opinion. But in a lot of other people's opinion.
I would agree. In a lot of people's opinions.
So, all right, I like that. That was good. So for all the audience.
Yeah, so you can kind of see where our criteria is, which is
Yeah.
why.
Well, these and these aren't all like super rewatchable movies. They're just really movies that we like too. So
Yeah.
and this a little insight into our personalities too. So maybe you agree with us or not. So anyways, that's fun. But
But we're the
anyways,
one behind the mic, so.
so we get to talk, and you can bash
Just
us.
listen.
You listen and bash us on social medias if you want to.
No, don't please. Please don't.
Don't do that. So we are here tonight. For us, it's tonight. Maybe it's in the morning on a car ride to work, but tonight for us talking, we are here to talk about Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
He entered a world where fantasy is real, where he could be anything he wanted, and where he would discover the most dangerous temptation of all.
Come and get me, boys. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. I believe you were expecting me.
Moulin Rouge is 2001. It came out May 16th of 2001. We're kind of sitting in that era. It's our high school years. Moulin Rouge actually won 2 Oscars, and it got nominated for another 3. So real quick, I've kind of like seeing these and some of the actors, and I've started clicking on what some of the cast and directors and the movies if they've gotten nominations or Oscar wins and stuff. It's kind of neat to see as we go through it. But Moulin Rouge won 2 Oscars, one for best direction and set direction. No, I'm sorry, best art direction and set direction, and then another one for best costume design.
Oh
Which
yeah.
I can see those.
Absolutely.
The 3 other nominations, it got nominated for best picture, best actress in a leading role for Nicole Kidman, and best cinematography.
Oh yeah. I recognized that when we were watching the whole time. I'm like, oh my god, this cinematography is insane. I couldn't even tell you what kind of tools they used to like get some of the shots that they got. It was insane.
Yeah.
It's like legs kicking everywhere and skirts flying.
It was a lot of movement.
Yeah.
There was a lot going
I mean, a
on.
lot of it sped up, yes, but still, that's
Yeah.
a lot of choreography adjusting the camera work in itself.
For sure.
If life's an awful bore and living's just a chore, cause death's not much fun. I've just the antidote, and though I mustn't gloat at the Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge was directed and written by Baz Luhrmann. I hope I got that right. We'll see.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to you? We'll go with that. And I'm not familiar, well, I don't know the name, but some of his work, he also wrote and directed Romeo and Juliet, which, you know, that's an adaptation of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. And then he did Australia. That was also with Nicole Kidman. Romeo and Juliet.
That
trying
was
to
with
remember.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to remember. There was somebody else in the cast that was in that. In Moulin Rouge that was in that. He also did The Great Gatsby.
Another great favorite.
Yeah, and that was an F. Scott Fitzgerald book. And then he did Elvis.
Wow, I didn't know that.
The 22 Elvis. We watched that. That was a good one. I liked
That is
Elvis.
a good one, yeah.
That was pretty popular.
Well, did you know, so speaking of all of his work, so
Yeah.
pretty much Moulin Rouge is the end of a trilogy series for him.
Oh, okay.
Is what they're calling it. They're calling it a trilogy, even though...
kind of like how in Clueless.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She-
that's
she
right.
had-
Although that kind of makes... I mean, I guess it kind of makes more sense. I feel like it's almost kind of like just period pieces or maybe pieces that he was inspired by. So
Which one would that include?
the first one was The Red Curtain. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. It's called The Red Curtain Trilogy. So the first one is called Strictly Ballroom. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Don't know anything about it.
No.
But the second one was Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I've seen that movie. I don't know if you have or not.
I vaguely remember that one, and it's come up a couple of times in some podcasts I've listened to, and some
It's a great,
cast
great
people,
film.
some
And
cast that I've looked up recently. So
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but it's another one of the really good ones that I've seen many, many times. I'm trying to think of the girl who played Juliet. She was fantastic in that movie. Oh, Claire Danes.
Claire Danes.
Claire
Okay.
Danes played Juliet. She's super, super, super young, which so is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, for sure.
But no, it was all spoken, you know, like Shakespearean and everything, which I thought was really cool. And then Moulin Rouge is what wrapped up the trilogy for him, which I always think it's funny when directors and writers have like these trilogy sets. I'm like, did they come out, like, did they go in this mindset of saying, okay, I'm going to make this trilogy, this is the 3 movies, or did they kind of write it as they went? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't this is our trilogy, kind of like how but as far as when they do their writings and how they all are similar and tied in, it was the inspiration, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with their, what they would consider a trilogy.
Right. And I don't know anything about Strictly Ballroom, but, you know, Romeo and Juliet.
When did that come out?
1992 for Strictly Ballroom, 1996 for Romeo and Juliet, and then 2001 for Moulin Rouge. So I know Romeo and Juliet and Moulin Rouge have a very tragic love story. So I'm assuming that's the same thing as Strictly Ballroom. But like I said, I have never seen that movie, so I couldn't tell you. Maybe we should see it. Maybe not for the podcast, but maybe just for curiosity to watch the movie.
Yeah. Maybe that's one that we'll do together as a together pick of a...
I mean, he's got great films. Like, I love all of those films.
Yeah.
Great Gatsby is another great one. Elvis. And I can kind of see the correlation. Yeah, I can kind of see the correlation
how the
between
cinematography
the two. Yeah.
and the similar styles.
Yeah.
John Leguizamo was the guy who played the short person in.
Oh, that's right.
He was in Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, he was. He was the oh shoot, what's the so two feuding families. It was the Capulet and the Montague.
Okay.
So I believe he was in the House of Montague.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. But yeah, he's one of the ones. He's like one of the leaders in that. But yeah,
Right.
he's really good in that movie.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was kind of fascinating. I didn't know anything else about it.
Well, that's what I was looking at the director, and he has a good tie-in to some of the same actors and some of these bigger.
A lot of directors do
films.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But then, like you said, his bigger ones, he's got those. So it's pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, because I mean, he's got Great Gatsby. He's got Leonardo DiCaprio, and he did Romeo and Juliet, and that was several years later.
Yeah,
You know?
that was 1996, and then 2013.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a long time.
He's matured.
Yeah,
matured
just a little bit.
So yeah, like I said, Australia was
That was a good movie too.
was Nicole
Been a while
Kidman,
since
and that
I've
was
seen
Hugh Jackman, right? In that one, I think.
Yes, I think so.
And I can't remember if I've seen that one. That one.
I think I've seen it
looked
once,
familiar. But anyways,
But yeah, so speaking of, his writing and directing abilities, which I also, first of all, I think that's super rare, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't really feel like there's a lot of directors who are also writers.
well, that's the thing we just talked about that with Clueless. She wrote and directed
Well, yeah.
Clueless.
Maybe you're right. Maybe
and
it
stuff,
is
so-
more common than I thought.
I don't know. That'll be interesting for us to look as we look at some of these, especially these big movies that we enjoy, to see if the directors had how much hand they had in it. I know it doesn't happen a lot with the other movies. I mean, especially like the superhero movies and stuff that I watch a lot, is that it's totally separate. And
Yeah, and I don't keep up with like directors and like what they do. I mean, I do now, after doing this. But he got inspiration from this movie from Orpheus. So I don't know if you know about Orpheus in the Greek mythology. So I took a Greek mythology course in college, which was a very long time ago. I'm not going to tell you how long, or how long. I'm not going to tell them how long ago that was.
I think you brought that up during the Gladiator.
I did, because I got confused. So it shows how much I listened to class.
Gotcha.
But I do actually remember the story. I didn't remember his wife. I think it was his wife, or it may have been just like his lover. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't think they married each other back then. So I think it was just like his love or whatever. So Orpheus loses his love, and she ends up getting sent to the underworld and into the trenches of the underworld. And in order to get her back, he goes down to the underworld to try to save her and bring her back from the dead. And Hades agrees, but gives only one condition. He can't look back at her until they are both in daylight. And then, unfortunately, kind of like this movie, he does look back at her, and his love is lost forever. So now you can kind of see a lot of that. Did you not follow that?
I didn't get that. I didn't follow that. I don't know.
Did I lose you?
Yep,
In my
yep.
Greek mythology?
Yep, I'm lost. Zoned out.
Do I need to make
No.
us a slideshow?
Yeah, we're gonna slideshow. Yes. Oh yes. I love pictures. I learn better with pictures.
I don't know. I always just find Greek mythology super.
No, it
fascinating.
is interesting.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
Well, Orpheus
Listen.
also obviously is Christian in this movie, and the love of his life is Satine. And Hades, you can kind of look at that as Harold or the Duke, and so he looks as Moulin Rouge as the underworld, and he looks as Moulin Rouge as the underworld, which Christian even has that line in the movie where he describes Moulin Rouge as the underworld. So kind of like in the beginning of the film, that whole scene of like the girls dancing and the can, all that kind of stuff, which obviously it was very intense and aggressive. I remember I told you, I'm like, it does not go on this long, like throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, I want to get into that.
He's like, yeah, that would be exhausting.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's kind of just the similarities between the two, is that he was very inspired by this story, and he made it into like the Moulin Rouge as being hell. And Christian went to Moulin Rouge to try to save Satine and the love of his life. It's even at the very end of the film, he's leaving leaving the stage, and he turns around to look at Satine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Walks back, and then he ends up losing her forever. So I just thought it was so cool. Like, the very obvious similarities between those two stories, once you know. Did I explain it better this time?
Once you break it down a little bit better, that
well,
helps.
I forget they've only seen this movie once. I've seen this movie so many times. But, yeah, so.
No, good. Good. Not like, oh, that's good.
But I still thought it was pretty fascinating. So it's kind of where he was inspired from that story.
Good. Well, I like that. Good job on that.
Thanks.
I hope we didn't lose too many listeners during that part.
Well, I was trying to break it down
No, you
for
did.
everybody.
I like it.
And
I
I
like
thought
it.
it was
Hey,
really fascinating. And it's an important fact about the movie because it wasn't an original. Because I remember you told me, you were like, where did he get this story from? Or what? Isn't that what you asked me last night? You said
No,
something
I
about
was.
what made him think of, or what made him write this, or.
No, I didn't know if it was from an older movie or if it was something different.
Oh, like a remake or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like Romeo and Juliet, is not
Right.
an original story. So I kind of think maybe that's his thing. Like, like The Great Gatsby is not an original.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like, yeah, for sure. Elvis is based on
Yeah, so I think-
a certain life. But,
Right.
But I mean, that's cool. I mean, I like that in either
like
way.
an
Either way, as long as
adaptation
it's then that a different adaptation. Like I said, Romeo and Juliet has how many movies?
That was the best one, I believe, and I've seen them all.
Yeah. I'm sure that one is. But obviously, they have other versions, not even like directly from Shakespeare, but somebody just takes that idea, calls it Romeo and Juliet. I think there's like that Nomeo and Juliet.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet. No,
So-
that's a famous story for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So I like that. Good job on that.
Yeah.
Good
Let's
research.
talk about the cast.
Yeah,
Yeah, fantastic cast with a lot of stars.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was fascinated. I mean, not fascinated. I was mesmerized.
Mesmerized. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Good job. Nicole Kidman, she is amazing.
Yeah.
I will say I love her in a lot of stuff she does.
Well, a lot of people, I think, speculated that she wasn't singing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But that was like right when it came out,
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think she had done any films, which I don't think any of them did. I mean, they're really famous actors.
I mean, she went on and did Australia, which is I mean,
That
that
was
was
after,
after.
yeah.
But I don't know her. I don't know where she came from. If she came from the theater much, or or how she got into acting.
Yeah.
That would be a curious thing.
But no, yeah, a lot of people
But she was-
speculated, but no, it's definitely her.
I mean, she was in like Days of Thunder in 1990. She was in Far and Away, which both of those are Tom Cruise movies. Batman Forever in 95. Eyes Wide Shut. Another
Yeah, she's got a long rap sheet, yeah.
another Tom Cruise movie. The Interpreter. Do you remember that movie, The Interpreter?
I don't think so.
I saw this on her list, and I remember that being a very good movie.
Well, you
it's
might
kind
have
of
to add it to your list.
It's kind of like a thriller. I don't think it's one that I would like go rewatch, any much. But and then she was Bewitched. Did you like that?
Yes,
I did
thought
like
it. Was
it.
cute.
It was a cute one. It's kind of a different take on that story. I like how it wasn't like direct. She was directly bewitched, and how I like that story. Will Ferrell's funny, but she did a great job in it. She did, like I said, she did Australia. And then I love the movie she did in 2021. We watched it. It's on Amazon. Being the Ricardos. Do you remember that?
Oh, that's the Lucille Ball story?
Yeah.
Yes. I forgot that was her.
Yeah, she was in
she
that.
was great. That was a really good film.
I thought it was really great, and it was.
I say film, not movie, because it was just so authentic. I feel like
Yeah.
it was filmed really great.
Yeah, I loved her in that. That was just a good movie.
Yeah.
That was a good cast on that one. I love that movie.
Yeah.
When we watched it, and then she has actually been. She's won an Oscar for Best Actress in a Leading Role in the movie The Hours from 2002. Never seen that one.
Never heard.
She's had 4 other Oscar nominations, including, like I said, Moulin Rouge, and then for her role in Being the Ricardos.
I don't know how she didn't win that role from Moulin Rouge. Like, I don't know who she went against.
She lost. Okay, here we go. She lost the nomination for Best Actress in a Leading Role to Halle Berry in Monsters Ball. She also went up against Judi Dench and Iris, Renee Zellweger from Bridget Jones' Diary. Yeah, Nicole Kidman lost to Halle Berry for Monsters Ball. Probably some research we should do a little bit in advance. But it is curious, like you said, the nominations and who they lost against. That's curious. But so I think she's great, like I said, in everything she does. So
Is she was a supporting actress?
no, she's a lead.
Oh,
No, she's a
okay.
lead
I thought you
actor.
said supporting. I'm sorry.
Did I say?
I don't know. I was
Best
just
actress
curious.
in a leading role.
Oh, okay. Maybe you did. I thought you said supporting. My bad. I was about to say, I was like, oh, she's a lead.
Yeah. And then we could talk about Ewan McGregor as Christian.
Yeah.
We've seen him obviously as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Star Wars
And I always forget he's
episode
in that
1.
movie.
Yeah. In
He's so great in that movie.
the prequel trilogy as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And
Now, did you know, speaking of Star Wars, did
Okay.
you know that the lot that they were filming this movie on was the same lot that they were filming Attack of the Clones?
Really?
Yes. So they were actually waiting for this movie to wrap up because this movie took them over a year to film. And so they were waiting for this film to wrap up. They were like really pushing them down their neck, you know. And I'm like, you know what? I guess Ewan McGregor just like took camp right there because he didn't have
You didn't have to go very
leave.
far. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was going to say, that he was filming the Star Wars prequel
Right after.
trilogy during this time. So
Yeah.
that's
It was
funny.
literally right after they wrapped up. I mean, I'm sure they gave him a break or so.
Yeah. Nope.
Nope.
Go put your robe on and get your lightsaber. Here we go.
I know.
And then I forgot he was in Black Hawk Down, which came out right before this. And then he was in the movie The Island. Do you remember that movie with
Yes.
Scarlett Johansson?
Yes.
The Island?
Yes. That was a weird one, wasn't it?
Oh, I liked it.
think
It
it
was
was
kind of
weird.
weird. It was about some
It
cloning.
didn't do very well, I don't think.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah. That was a weird one.
Yeah, but he did a
I
great
thought it was
job.
really
I thought
good.
it was a
It
good
just
movie.
didn't do very well.
Okay.
I don't know why.
And then he did that movie Big Fish. I don't know if you remember that one. I think that was a real popular one.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I loved him in this role. I didn't realize how well he could sing, and like just I mean, I'm talking goosebumps every time he hits those notes. It's ridiculous. And I didn't realize that. I always think it's, you know, we talk a lot about in this podcast and just in general about, you know, and it's fun to think about like people who went out for this role in a movie, in a certain movie, whether this movie or another movie, but and then like how it would be, because you know when you see him and like, you know, the casting people are great at what they do, because I think they really can just picture who the character is and which actor would be the best one for it. But then you think, well, how would that person do? So Heath Ledger was wanting to have this role. Now he can sing. I don't know if you remember. So in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
So he sings in that movie a couple times actually, I think. So I would have loved. I mean, I like love Heath Ledger. Love him. He's
Yeah.
a great actor.
I didn't realize that. See, I didn't see any the casting choices.
That was the only one that I really stuck out. But yeah, I think it was Heath Ledger and another person. I can't remember who it was. Another famous person. But yeah, Heath Ledger was the only one that I really kind of was like, oh, I wondered how that would have gone. Because, you know, he's a heartthrob as well. And which, I mean, I guess you really wouldn't consider Ewan McGregor a heartthrob, except for in this film, you know, which I think is what made his part perfect, or him perfect for this part, because you don't look at him as like the drop dead gorgeous like person, you know.
Right.
And I think as being a writer in that time, you're not looked upon as very wealthy, you know, and they say that several times in it, you know.
I would be curious on how that role. Well, we can get into it a little bit, but I like Ewan McGregor. I don't know. There was probably somebody else that could have done a better job singing and
You didn't think
stuff.
he sang good?
Hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is. Now you're in the world.
I think he did fine. I
All
think
right, we're already getting into it now.
this is what y'all been waiting for.
No. Oh my gosh. His voice was so good in this movie.
I think one of the problem is you can tell that this movie it was recorded separately and was played over the acting. there most of the time that's what happens. And I was trying to remember the movie that I don't know if was it Les Mis? It was one of those movies like that they actually sang on
It was
set.
Les Mis.
It was Les Mis, and you can tell that was just done immaculately, and that had a lot to do with it. The acting as you're singing, the passion behind it, the acting was superb in that because of I think it had a lot to do with the way that the vocals were recorded. And I'm sure that it's extra. It takes a lot of extra work and effort to get the sound right for a musical to record like that. But sometimes you could really tell it during.
I guess I just overlooked that part.
Okay.
I believe you. Well, I think a lot of it has to do the realism in this movie is pretty non-existent, and they they show that since the very beginning. So I guess I kind of just overlooked that. I mean, I know what you're saying, but most movies were that way. That's just how they were. Like, good Lord, don't watch Grease then, because it is definitely played over while they're singing it in the movie. But most movies are that way.
Yeah.
I feel like. I mean, I guess for a 2001 film, you would expect differently, but.
Well, like the type of music, the type of movie and musical that they're trying to put out there with the, like we were talking about the cinematography and the way that movie is directed and the feel for the movie, and especially with the music, the type of music they're using, it worked, Well,
you also have to think too, I know you compared it to Les Mis, which I can't think of another movie that did that, but Les Mis was also a musical first. Then they made it into a movie. So Les Mis songs are set for one scene, stage performance where you don't have to have a lot of camera work, So that's what I feel like with Moulin Rouge. There were so many camera angles and camera work and sets and costumes and dancing.
But there wasn't much sets. They repeated a lot of the same sets.
True.
It seemed like, and it's all done on a soundstage.
Yep.
And all that. So it's not like there's a big having to change locations and different things. In musicals, I'll go ahead and tell you, for any musical that we watch, I'm going to compare it to Les Miserables and The Greatest Showman, because those are two of by far the best.
Well, I'm sure
musicals.
The Greatest Showman was recorded first and played over.
I'm sure it was. But
done well, I guess.
But it was really done well. Acted
no,
well.
I agree. Those are really great musicals. I agree.
Yeah. Well, like Hugh Jackman can sing his butt off.
Right. I agree.
I didn't really care for, what's the other guy?
Harold?
No, I'm talking about in Greatest Showman. What's your guy's name?
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron. Okay, sorry. I didn't really.
High School Musical star.
No, but okay. I digress.
You probably should leave it there.
No.
I mean, I understand compared to Hugh Jackman, but I think Hugh Jackman also has 30 years on this guy. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
that man loves theater. He loves it all. Like, he'll take time away from acting in a movie to do theater, and he has.
Yeah.
But I guess.
Well, this isn't a Hugh Jackman.
This
movie,
isn't a Hugh Jackman.
This is a Hewitt.
I guess that is true that he's in
McGregor movie.
I just obviously he's in Les Mis too. Anyway.
Now, would you rather have seen Hugh Jackman in this movie?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I think it would have been different.
Well, he did.
I think he could have done it. I mean, I think he could have done anything. Obviously,
he did Australia with Nicole Kidman, so obviously, that would have worked. I don't know which one is referred to as a better movie. Maybe Moulin Rouge is, but
it's more popular.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I just need to take it for what it is.
Yeah.
Another one I like, which I guess I like the musical itself. I don't know the movie holds up, is Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
It's more or less the music. I don't.
Yeah.
Think the movie's very good.
And we'll get into the music. Maybe that's what we get into. So before we move on to some of the more stuff we did, I did want to mention the box office numbers and where it ranked real quick. Maybe I should put this up in the beginning, but
The boring stuff.
The boring stuff. It was the 33rd grossing movie of 2000 or the 23rd top grossing movie of 2001. It made $179 million worldwide and $57 million domestically. And so 2001, you want to know some of the big movies that year?
Sure.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh.
Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Rings. Monsters, Inc. and Shrek came out that year. Ocean's 11. Pearl Harbor. Are you a Pearl Harbor girl?
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what Pearl Harbor is?
I do, but I don't know what that question
Okay,
means.
sorry for phase that. Did you like Pearl Harbor? I'm trying to. I
think
thought about
so.
I thought about
I
that a
can't
while
remember.
back. I don't know. That's why I want to ask you because I thought about that a while back.
Now I get that one
if you
confused
were-
with Saving Private Ryan.
Totally different.
I know, but they're both about
Totally
boats
different.
and war.
Okay. Moving on.
Don't put that in there. I sound like an idiot.
Oh, it's your fault. But yeah, there was some good movies that came out in 2001, so I thought it was interesting. I like looking at that kind of stuff, and maybe other people do to reminder because it's been so long since 2001. All right, so obviously I had never. I don't know if it's obvious, but I had never seen this movie before.
So you realize you've never seen it before.
Oh, I definitely never
Like
seen
always.
it before. And during our last episode,
I'll be surprised if you had.
Yeah. During our last episode, when we were talking about the movie that we were going to watch next and referring to Moulin Rouge, I was thinking that Catherine Zeta-Jones was in this.
Yeah.
And I'm looking up, I'm like, oh, she's in Chicago.
Chicago.
This movie, Chicago.
Which is also good.
Well, maybe I wish this was Chicago. I don't know. Maybe I feel the same way about it.
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think you'd like Chicago.
Yeah.
It's all right. I liked it, but it's not. Well, I don't think you like this movie
So-
either. Apparently, it's not going so well for me on pick number 3. I was really trying hard. Now I'm just gonna be like, caution to the wind. I'm gonna pick all the movies.
Let me see where. So. Okay. Yeah, I had never. So you had seen this. How many times have you seen it? You seen it a lot? Have you
I've seen it
this?
a lot. So I remember the first time I saw it, I think I was about 15 or 16 years old. So I didn't see it, in theater. We
It
didn't
would
go to
have
the.
been about this time, yeah.
Yeah, well, we didn't go. I mean, I think I saw it a year later after
Okay.
it came out. We didn't go to the theater a lot. I don't know why. Like nowadays, as soon as a new movie comes out, we go see it in the theater.
Well, that's not true. We watch blockbuster ones and certain ones that the kids would enjoy. We don't hit the movies a lot anymore.
No. I mean, no, but I agree. Or maybe I just don't remember. But I think most of the time I just watch movies at home. And I'm pretty sure the first time I watched this movie, I watched it illegally.
Illegally?
Yeah,
You
I remember.
bootlegged it?
You remember
What were
when
you
you
doing?
could do that?
What was it? What was Napster or something?
I think so. Napster was real big in the 2000s and 1999.
That's awesome.
I loved Napster before it got, before we knew better.
I used a different one that was not Napster.
I
can't
usually
rem-
got that one too.
I couldn't remember what the name of it was
I
to save
can't
my
either.
life.
But yeah, we all remember Napster. I don't think it was Napster. I think it was something else. But no, it was a free download. I remember I watched it. It was definitely a bootleg. But still had the same impact on me.
Okay.
But yeah, it was definitely a free movie. But I just remember, and I think a lot of it, and I told you in the last episode that this movie has a special place in my heart. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the age that I watched it at. I was...
And how memorable it was to watch it illegally. That has a
I
big
guess.
special place.
I forgot I did, but I'm pretty sure it was because... Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, I was 15, 16. I probably didn't have a Blockbuster card or a movie gallery card. And I don't think my mom would have wanted me to watch this movie.
There was nothing wrong with this.
No, it was a little risque. I mean, they're talking about,
Well, maybe for your time, maybe at the age you would have watched it.
Yeah, I mean, 15,
as a
16
conservative
is
parent,
fine.
maybe
Yeah.
conservative parents and stuff like that. But I don't know.
But no, I mean, I think it was really impressionable to me because I was, at that age where, 15, 16, you're kind of just maturing and thinking about, love, and I wasn't in a relationship, and I didn't
You enjoyed
really,
the love story about it.
yeah, and I
Okay.
wasn't in a relationship, not like I wanted to be or anything, but I just really loved that love story part of it, and I love music. Like, I've always loved music. I'm not very musically talented. That's a word.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I enjoy music. Like, it has a very big part of my life, and when I listen to certain music, it really either lifts me up really high or brings me down depending on what kind of music it is. So I do have to be careful of like music I listen to because it can affect my mood. Really young. My grandma was really big into Cats. And Les
okay.
Mis, you
Yeah.
know, I remember I saw Cats on, not on Broadway, I wish, off Broadway when it was at the Fox Theater in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
When I was probably 12 or 13. I could be totally off on that, but I remember I was young.
Didn't your dad take you out to New
Yeah,
York? And,
in New York, yes. We did go to New York. We watched Kissing Me Kate was the play we watched.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's off of, shoot, I was like 10 when I watched that one. But we watched Kiss Me Kate, and we watched something else. It was a funny one, and I can't remember what it was. But it was a musical. But yeah, we watched all those on Broadway. But yeah, no, I just have always loved musicals, and I think that's why this movie was current. You know, it just came out. You know, most of the musicals I watched were old. You know,
Yeah.
or not on the theater, or not on movie theaters. And so yeah, so I really liked it, and I think after I watched it so many times. You know, when you're a kid or a teen and you can just watch and watch and watch and watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then I downloaded all the music, probably illegally. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
That
everybody
was
else.
before the internet really got a hold of all that.
Yeah, we didn't know it
bootleg
was illegal. I promise. I didn't
know,
know.
right?
We just thought it was free music.
As long as you weren't downloading a virus, right?
Oh, I probably did. But no, but no, after probably my 20s, I may have saw it one other time, but it's probably been a really long time since I saw it again.
Now, when you watched this time with us together, did you enjoy it as much as you remembered and thought about? Was it still enjoyable?
I'm gonna be completely honest, okay? I picked this movie, right?
Yep.
Okay. Music, phenomenal.
Okay.
Still love it. It's amazing. The storyline, I still like it, but it didn't have as much impression on me as when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. And like, because it was kind of interesting because it was almost like,
It was a pretty straightforward love story, or you think you've
Yeah.
seen it a lot of different
it kind of,
times?
yeah, I think that's maybe, it just kind of watered it down for me, I
Okay,
guess. Like,
yeah.
I was so envious of you because you had never seen it before. And
Oh.
I know it probably, you know how you do something or you watch something and, you know, you wish, I do this a lot with books. Like when I read a book, I'm envious of people who get to read it for the first time,
Oh,
you know?
for sure.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'm a
anything
book
with like
nerd too.
well, anything when you watch like something you're into and you watch it as soon as it comes out and you're watching it and then you hear about somebody's like binged watching it and they're experiencing, you're watching them experience it for the first time. And you're like, man, I wish I could experience that.
Yeah. Well, it's like we took our daughter to, me and my dad took our daughter to Cats last year.
Oh, yeah,
For the
that's
first
right.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
That my daughter saw it for the first time, and that was actually here in our hometown, and I felt that same way. And I just had goosebumps.
You're like
the
looking
entire
at her, you're like,
time.
is she enjoying
Yes.
it? Is she enjoying
And
it?
I know Cats is a very complicated play, but overall it's very enjoyable for all ages, I think. And she enjoyed it, obviously.
Yeah,
but,
she did really love that
I
one.
don't think
She did.
anyone, I don't know how you can unless you just don't like animals.
You
Or don't have ears.
or you don't have a heart.
Yeah, no joke.
kidding.
But yeah, it was kind of the same feeling, was like, and I felt the same way with Cats, which it's been a long time since I've seen Cats, but yeah, it didn't have the same impact on me, which I can understand because I've seen it a million times, you
Yeah.
know, before, but it's
I
just been a
gotcha.
while.
Yeah. Maybe not as a rewatch. Maybe not as good of a rewatchable as far as the story. Maybe just listen
It's a
to the
good
music.
re-listen.
Re-listen. Okay, yeah, I got you. I know. For me, how I felt, it was really hard for me to get into the movie. It took me a while. I did kind of get into it about halfway through. I think you were kind of sensing that from me. You were kind of worried about it.
I was. I know that first scene.
Well,
it was like the second scene with the absinthe and all is very
Well,
weird.
the movie started at 100 miles an hour and didn't slow down for 30 minutes, it felt like. I'm like, it did transition, but it transitioned so fast into the next big one because it started kind of strong. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out where this movie's going and trying to get a feel for
I think
the
that's
atmosphere.
The point. That's his style. It's like you're on a roller coaster. Like,
but I was trying to get an understanding of the style because I didn't know anything about this. I didn't
I
know
know.
at all. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't even. I don't know if I saw any pictures.
you didn't know any music.
No,
Yeah.
I mean the way they introduced the movie was pretty cool, and because you were on a stage and how they did the whole the Fox logo, and then how they came into it was pretty neat. I like that.
Kind of how they started from the past and went.
And then they get into the writing, and then he starts and gets into he meets his people.
Luckily, right at that moment, an unconscious Argentinian fell through my roof.
And trying to get a feel, and immediately they jump into this huge number after they do this whole
Very long. I
after this
forgot
whole-
about that part.
And then I guess it's the whole trippy thing they do from the beginning with the
Absinthe.
absence, and then they go all into it, and it's just 100 miles an hour right off the go. And so I'm like, and then that's when you look at me and you're like, don't worry, this isn't like this the whole time. I'm thinking, thank God, because I'm exhausted.
I know. And I think he does that for a reason. And I'm not really sure why, but like, I feel like it, I obviously I think it's intentional, but I would be curious to know like what would be his purpose for like making you
And
go
that's
up
what
really, really, really high and then just like drops you,
Yeah.
whenever Satine comes out and does her little number.
Right. And that's why I think sometimes the pacing wasn't quite good for me.
Yeah. And I think it's just his style, because I think The Great Gatsby is just like that. There's a lot of scenes in that movie, I don't know if you remember, that are kind of nuts.
Well, yeah. Oh, I don't mind that. I really don't mind that, but I didn't really get a hold of the movie yet. And they were really...
It's very fast-paced.
It was very fast-paced in the beginning. It did settle down nicely, and you can follow it very well, but that's when I started getting into it, and I'm had a few minutes to catch up.
I know, it's kind of like a hurry up and go.
Even after that big opening number at the Moulin Rouge, then it wasn't called the Moulin Rouge the whole time? Okay. And as soon as they got that big number, and then they immediately jump into the scenes in the elephant where he's kind of goofing around with, or she
she thinks he's the Duke.
Yeah, where she thinks he's the Duke, and then
I believe you are expecting me.
Yes.
but and then
I was laughing
and then
so
they did the
hard.
whole big number with the selling.
Spectacular.
Yeah, selling the spectacular, and it was really quick into all of that. For me, it wasn't until they did the Ewan McGregor Christian comes back, and they are singing on top of the elephant, that the movie really has a chance to breathe.
Yeah.
And I think at that point is when I really started getting into it a little bit better, which brings me to a point. That is my favorite scene.
Love is like oxygen. What? Love is a many splendid thing. Love lifts us up where we belong. All you need is love.
I'll go ahead and
Me
tell
too.
you. That's my favorite
Oh my gosh,
scene.
I remember as a teen playing that song, like that whole and I can't remember. I think it was like a clip. I think I pulled a clip of that scene because I remember
The love melody.
Yes, it's the Silly Love Songs is the name of that.
I thought it was called the Elephant Love Melody.
Could be that was the singing
Silly
was just
Love
like
Song.
that. Yeah.
Love lifts us up where we belong.
Get down! Get down!
Where eagles fly on a mountain high.
That's
I
Silly
love
Love
that,
Songs, yeah.
and there were other. Anyway, I'll go talk about some other good things I liked. Okay, so I did really love that part. That scene was great. That really got me into the movie a lot better. Also, like the song "Come What May."
Oh yeah.
They used.
That
I like that
whole-
one. That wasn't. I think that was an original. That wasn't really.
No, that's Come What May.
Was it that? Or was the other one I was thinking of? I don't know.
That's from a song. I can't
Yeah,
remember what it is.
okay.
I always think all of these songs are Elton John songs.
I do like.
That one could be. I can't remember.
I don't remember. But anyways, maybe that rendition. Maybe it took me. It threw me off a little bit. Like I said, Nicole Kidman I really loved. The ending number.
Yes.
That was really great, and that was huge. It was just as big as the opening number. Not as big, but it was as solid of a performance.
Yeah.
That one was. So I really did like that one. The ending was really well done. I liked that a lot. The parallels between the spectacular and the storyline going on, that was pretty cool. I did like it. the way they had to sell that and went in through with
So
the
that was pretty
plot.
smart,
It was
pretty
smart.
genius.
It was good. It was pretty good writing and helped with the story and
That's one of my
understanding the
favorite scenes
plot.
is them pitching that.
Did you like that?
I did.
I think it would have been better if there was a chance to breathe in that movie. If it wasn't right off the heels of everything else going on.
I just
the
think
way
it's
it was
so out of left field because it's not a modern song. You know, it's that dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
So it's a very, I mean, that's a classic song. It's classical.
Right.
It's not so modern. So that's what I think it stands out from all the other ones. And it's just hilarious. Like
there was some good moments in that.
you gotta just
Okay.
watch it over again
All right.
because
Okay, I'm gonna tell
so much
you-
going on.
I'm going to tell you what took me out of the movie every single time.
Oh,
I'm going to tell you what time, and I might be alone on this. But
if you say their chemistry, I'm gonna be so
no,
pissed.
no,
Okay.
it wasn't them. It had nothing to do with
Okay, because I know
Christian-
you made that comment
No.
on another movie. I think.
No. I love their chemistry. They did fine. I love
Okay.
everything that they're.
I'm so self-conscious when I watch these movies now because I'm like, oh, Caleb's not gonna like this. Caleb's not gonna like that.
Everything that Ewan McGregor and every time Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman are in a scene together, they're great.
Okay, good.
Okay. The
We are in
worst,
agreement.
the worst part about the movie, and it took me out of it, was John Leguizamo being a short guy. That was terrible. That took me out of it
You
every
didn't like
time.
you didn't like him acting or the
Oh,
character?
I like John Leguizamo, and he's
Okay.
no, I like him. No, he's fine.
You don't like that he was
as
a
an
short
actor.
You
I mean,
didn't-
John
he wasn't
Leguizamo is
believable,
more
or-
of those. Okay, the guy. It looks like he's walking around on his knees the whole time.
Okay, he is.
I know. I know.
He was in a mechanism where he was walking around on his knees.
I
the
know,
whole
and I
time.
read this up, and I was like,
Yeah.
because I read that, and that's why I say it looks like he's reading on his. And okay, and I'll read what I found on the internet, and you probably found the same thing. It says various tricks were used to make John Leguizamo's legs appear shorter. Some shots of his stand-in who was the correct height, while others he walked on his knees in spectacle leg braces and wearing blue socks so his lower legs could be digitally removed. Leguizamo did the entire climactic scene from the squatting position to give him greater mobility in his role. Consequently, he had to endure several weeks of physical therapy afterwards. I could tell.
That I know.
I could tell it, and I think that's what the problem with it. I mean, why don't you just get a short person?
I know.
Like, there are very good short person actors that could do that part. I mean, The Greatest Showman did it.
yeah.
I mean, you could have got like, I don't know, Peter Dinklage. He was around that time. I don't know if he could sing.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, but he didn't sing.
I know. Well, he was like, yeah, he didn't sing.
didn't sing in
You
this
could have got
movie.
somebody else to do it.
I know. I don't
I mean,
know.
I like John Leguizamo, and he's kind of like one of those guys. Like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
One of those that guys. Like, oh, that guy. I like that guy. He
I
says other stuff.
actually started a new like we have best actor.
Oh yeah, best that guy.
No.
I know another podcast does that. They say, "What's the
Oh,
best
really?
that guy?"
No, I call it best non-main character.
Yeah,
He was my favorite.
he was your
best
favorite.
non-
You liked him.
I like him.
The character?
You know, I did. I mean, I guess again,
No,
the special effects or the non-special effects of him don't bother me. I guess, and I knew that watching it
It
again.
just
'cause
looks
I
like
knew
he's
that.
walking around on his knees.
But I love the
and
character.
It's just awkward looking.
Yeah.
I understand that the character could have been great, but every time he's walking around in that pitch scene that we were talking about, the pitch musical, the song, I'm just watching him like, I'm like, is he on his knees? I think he's on his knees. Like, he just looks awkward.
Well, we know he's not a short person.
No, I know that. It just took me out. It took me out
I
every
know.
time I saw it, and that was
know.
I hated that it took me out of that.
Well, I wonder why they did use him because he's not a no-name actor. I don't think then he was either.
I
Maybe
don't
he
know.
was. Maybe he's that guy in all the
he's-
movies.
right.
But
He's-
people know he's not a short person.
Right.
So I don't know.
But you can. I mean, I've seen many movies. Well, they do it now. They have the technology now to just make you a short person digitally,
Yeah.
and you could just act and stuff. I mean, they can shave you down and make you shorter or whatever digitally. I mean, they've done that in lots of movies, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm sorry.
Let's move on.
I did like the sets and costumes were fantastic. They were they fit well. Like I said, the sets, it was a lot of same usage, a lot of same stuff over and over again,
that was
which is
the
fine.
point.
I mean,
I
the
think-
point they're at
a lot, yeah.
well, not I'm talking about that, but they're at a
like one setting, yeah.
the setting is
like a block.
this-
Well, I think
right.
it's supposed to be. It's meant to look like a stage. I think.
No,
a
it
lot of
is, yeah,
times. Like it's very
exactly.
stagey. You know, it's like even like when they're in the
The
silly love
rehearsals
song
and
scene. When they're in the love song scene, silly love song. You know, they're dancing in the clouds and there's a singing moon. You know, it's not
Yeah.
supposed to be realistic. It's supposed to be cartoony and kind of, you know, very theatrical.
right, like
I mean, they're
fantasy.
singing,
They're
so-
singing about love. You kind of get into this mind or this not la la, but
It's very creative,
Yeah.
like imaginative place. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's what it's supposed to
yeah, I get that.
resemble, you know.
I know you really like the songs. Okay, for me, I like originals. It did work. Some of the songs they did, they reimagined popular songs.
They meshed some.
They meshed, yeah,
That's
exactly.
in the silly
Some
love
of the
songs.
melody,
That's
it's
the
a big
mesh.
melody. I did like
Yeah.
that, and there were some of them that I did like. The reimagining of some songs worked well. Some of them did not for me. I was like, okay, I will say this because I did not know what this movie was about and how this was going from the beginning. When he in the opening scene when he meets his crew, I don't know the people's name. I don't even know what they called them, but when he talks about the Sound of Music. I'm like, what is this? Is this a movie about how the Sound of Music came about? I'm like, what are they writing? I didn't realize how the music was going to be set
I
that
don't really
way.
know where
And
that
that's in the
came
back
from
of my
either.
mind the whole
Yeah.
time about the Sound of Music. And it was like, it wasn't done
It's
bad.
definitely not a scene that sticks out to me. Like I forgot about that part.
But because I didn't know they were using
Yeah.
modern stuff, and I didn't know it was
Yeah.
they were just using whatever. I'm like, are they writing the Sound of Music in this? Like, is this an origin story about? So,
Well, obviously, you know, they end up scratching that whole idea and going on with the
spectacular.
spectacular. Yeah.
But okay, one song was I kept going back and forth. I didn't know if I liked it or not. It was the Tango Roxanne.
That's one of my favorite parts of that whole movie.
I keep going
Oh
back
my
and forth.
God, it's so
I think
good.
if it was a different song, maybe the tango part, the acting, the whole
The dance,
the
yeah.
dance was great. But the Roxanne, I don't know.
Oh, I thought that was phenomenal.
I struggled with the song choice on that one. That was just personal. Do you want to go into some of the songs that they used at all, or do you want to?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I have since we're talking about scenes that I already liked, so you know, pitching this show to the Duke inside the elephant was one of them. Roxanne was another one. The Come What May at the end of the movie, the finale number, of course, is my
that was a
favorite.
good one.
But another movie, I know you're not gonna like this scene. I mean, not movie. Another scene that I like that I know you're not gonna like, but I just thought was hilarious is the Like a Virgin number.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
I knew you weren't.
I did not like that one.
Every time I go into that, I mean, obviously I'm not going to listen to that song, but it is just so funny. And Harold, I don't remember that actor's name, but he does such a good job in that scene. I just love it. So he did a great job in the whole movie, but I just thought that scene is so funny. Like it breaks up the drama and the love story, and it's so random, and it makes the Duke look so stupid, which
Yeah.
of course is what they want you to do. But no, I just thought it was great. I love that. So quirky.
Yeah.
And I love the dancing in that scene too. The guys dancing with him like a virgin.
Yeah, I didn't
Like Madonna's.
Yeah, that one did not do it for me. I will say
I know
that.
it. And I
was-
know you don't really care for that song either. So
Yeah. The another one was the when diamonds are girl's best friend, and
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
there was kind of a couple different play-ons for they used diamonds a couple different.
that was kind of her song that
Yeah.
she played. Did you know in that number, the first number, when she came down and did that whole scene, she did it all by herself?
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was no stunt double. I'm sure she had, some kind of contraption where she wouldn't
Yeah.
fall unless it was intentionally, like she did. And I don't know if that was a body double, but they did say like that whole number of her swinging around and all that was.
That was a
all
big
her.
number. Yeah.
Well, she got hurt so many times in this movie. She said, yeah, most of it was from like the corsets and stuff. Corsets, yeah, like the corsets, and a lot of the girls in the movie did. I think it was like she ended up like breaking like 3 ribs or something.
Well, I read what I found was it says filming was halted for 2 weeks in November of 1999 after Nicole Kidman fractured 2 ribs and injured her knee while rehearsing a dance routine for the film. Many of the scenes where she is seen only from the chest up, including a real actress. I guess that's one of the numbers. It's in quotes. A real actress.
The one at the end, they have that close up of her in the backstage.
But it says the real actress song. I guess that's a song. The scene was shot while she's in a wheelchair.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think it's that one at the end, where they tell her she's dying, and then it's a close up because the scene completely changes where she's walking out the door and she's leaving, and then like she turns around and it's a completely different lighting setup for her, and it's like just like one half of her face, and it's like just like her neck up, and it's so close to her face.
Yeah,
and that's probably what it was. I don't remember what that song was.
A real actress. I don't
know.
I remember her referring to that, but I'm trying to remember the number. Maybe it's just a short little moment where she's singing. And then another one, you just talk about her in the trapeze. Another thing I found was during the Santine's trapeze entrance, blue light was used due to Nicole Kidman's pale skin tone. The director found that the blue light made her almost glow and therefore stood out during that scene. Yeah. I mean, she's a ginger.
Yeah, she's real pale.
I guess is she a natural redhead?
I think so.
But yeah, she's very pale, and she's never she's in every movie, but she's phenomenal anyway. But that's funny. They had to change the lighting for it. So
yeah, to make her glow.
She found out where it glowed. I didn't like, but we were talking about the Diamonds song. I don't know. I didn't care for that one either. Like her performance and stuff was fine, but I think it was because it sounded like a Marilyn Monroe kind of feel.
I mean, I think that's the intention.
Yeah, and maybe
she's a sex icon.
The
basically.
song and so I don't know. There were some good songs that I really liked, and some that took me out of it. And the song usage and some of those I did appreciate. I do appreciate a good original number for like musicals and stuff, and so maybe that's why part of it was a problem.
That. And I guess I have the opposite take on. I mean, I agree with you, but I love that they took their own take on it, and
it wasn't just straight up the same song.
No,
I agree.
No. Yeah, no, and that's what I like because I was like, oh, is it that song?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it also kind of like, especially when I watched this when I was younger, it made me go listen to those songs too, to like see the difference in them, because some of them I knew, like the popular ones obviously, but some of them were so different, that you're like, is it that song?
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's just a few lines from one song that's in a different one, and like I said, you can go online and look at all the songs that were referenced in these, and you could probably re-listen to the whole soundtrack like you're talking about and hear different songs the whole time. So okay, we can move on from the music and stuff.
I know, you can talk forever about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a musical. I mean, you have to talk a lot about it.
Maybe you can like link some articles if people are curious of like what all the songs that were mentioned in there.
Right.
In the clip, what do you call it?
The show notes.
Show notes. I was going to say the clip notes. Or that too.
Yeah, I did just see this, that Come What May was an original song. It was the only original written song for the 2001 Moulin Rouge. Very cool. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's why I like that one better. I got the eye roll, everybody. I got the eye roll.
First time on the podcast.
Definitely not. You can try to throw that smoke somewhere else. Best acting and worst acting.
Best actor was Ewan McGregor. I like Nicole Kidman, but
Ewan McGregor was yours.
Yes, I thought his voice was great, and I thought his acting was outstanding, and I think he was the main character in this movie. just because he was the writer and he was the narrator and all of that. I just think he had all the emotions that were needed in this film. My worst character was...
Well, it's got to be the Duke.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you're going to do the worst character.
Yeah.
Well, that means it's supposed to be the worst character.
I know. I didn't really care for Harold as much. I thought he was funny.
Yeah, he's hit and miss at times.
He was
That's
kind
good,
of
man.
creepy.
Yeah. And he's got that 1900s weird
Creep value.
creep vibe going. Yeah. So,
What about you? Best actor, Ewan McGregor?
No, Nicole Kidman is my
Kidman?
favorite. Yeah, she was my favorite. And then, and I already talked about John Leguizamo took me out of the movie. He's got to be the worst acting and character in that one.
Oh, no.
I saw he was in it, and I was like, oh, cool. And nope, I was totally opposite. I went totally
I thought
opposite
he had
direction.
some great... He had some great scenes. Another one of my favorite great scenes was not a musical number, but whenever he was in the room with Christian after Satine dumped him, and he's trying to cheer him up, and he gives him a little pep talk, and Christian just tells him to get out. But I just thought that was a really powerful scene because he was just broken. But
yeah, that was neat. That was a good scene. He wasn't so bad in that one. That was probably one of his better scenes for sure. It just took me out in this weird accent.
And he had the greatest line of all in the whole movie was, the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and to be loved in return.
Yeah, that's the only quote I had.
And then he
in that
forgot
movie.
it at the end. He forgot his whole line. Remember at the end of the play?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I forgot my line. What am I supposed to say?
And as far
I loved his little lisp.
you liked it? I
thought
think
it
it
was
was. I think it was a little much. Okay.
The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and to be loved in return. Don't put that in there, please.
Do it again without laughing.
No.
With the accent, you can't do it. You can't do it
No.
without without laughing. Yeah, that was the only
The only good line he had.
the only good line. No, the only quotable line I really had in the movie.
Yeah,
the
most
movie.
of the quotes that I had pulled were, well, not were, but a lot of them were from dialogue or from the...
A lot of back and forth.
Music, yeah.
Not just one-liners. Yeah, this one didn't have really much one-liners and stuff to remember.
I love I can't believe it. I'm in love. I'm in love with a young, handsome, talented Duke. He goes, a Duke? I'm not a Duke. You're not a Duke?
Yeah.
I'm a writer. I love that scene.
Yeah, the misunderstanding, that whole scene was...
It
It was good. That was good moments. She is way over the top. It's hilarious how over the top she was.
I know.
And he is oblivious.
Uh-huh.
So it was funny. So anyways, any other notes you had? Anything else you want to talk about specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple more quotes that I really liked.
Okay, yeah.
They're both from Christian. One was, I think it was at the beginning of the movie, and he says, a story about a time, a story about a place, a story about the people, but above all things, a story about love, a love that will live forever. And then the other one, which I kind of referenced to already, which was the line that kind of really brought out that Orpheus origin story about where he kind of pulled this story from, which was where the rich, you're talking about Moulin Rouge, where the rich and powerful came to play with the young and beautiful creatures of the underworld. So that was that one little line that tied it back into Moulin Rouge being like the hell,
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
You pulled some good ones. I was struggling with the quotes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them were from, the great music that they sang.
Yeah.
So are we gonna cut me up and
do you want to do the ratings?
yeah, I mean, it's part of the show.
I know. Well, this one's hard because the his and her ratings were Megan. This is Megan's least favorite part of
It
the
really
episode.
is. I don't know why I put so much pressure on myself because I want you to like them, but I want you to be honest.
Okay, well, I will say, I mean, thank you for introducing me to this movie. I think this was a good find. It was.
It's a good 5. You
No,
see
a
5?
good find. This is a good find for you.
You said 5, guys. We already had 5.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No,
It's
so
my superpower.
I know, right? So this was hard for me because I have to look back at the other movies that we've done. I'm like
No,
having to
can't.
compare it because that's what I struggled with the first one because I didn't know where to put it with and Clueless. I didn't know where to put it. And,
Let me do the first one with both threes, I think.
yeah, we were both threes on the first one. I think I
You
gave.
just wrote them all the
I
same.
think Clueless
Rate
was
them
a
all the same.
2. Which
Yeah, I knew it was. It's definitely a 2.
I think it should. Clueless was really a 2.5. It was pretty close.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it was really more of a 2.5 because I don't think I
Basically a
would.
3.
I was not trying to do half stars, and then we kind of introduced half stars in the last episode.
Yeah.
So I think Clueless was more of a 2.5,
Okay.
and this one, if I wasn't so out of it the first third of the movie, I probably would be into it a little bit more. So this one's probably a 2.5 too.
Caleb, oh my gosh, y'all, I can't handle this. We're about to end this podcast right now. I can't handle it.
You knew it last night.
You're gonna
When we were
do
watching
all
it.
of my movies a 2.5.
No,
This is not a fair rating.
should have done Les Miserables.
But you've seen it, and I know you like it.
I'm sorry. No, I think I do. I don't know. There were-
You can't tell me that this movie didn't have any kind of effect on you, in a positive way.
Well, it had a few good moments.
No,
I
it did not.
It wasn't. A lot
I've
of
been
good
hearing you
moments.
singing all the songs all day.
Come what may. That's the only one I've stuck in my head. I told you I like that one.
So that's the only reason why it's a 2.5 for that one song?
No, there were other moments. I didn't talk about that.
Well, I'm disappointed.
I'm sorry. I did go up on Clueless. It's got to count for
You
something.
can't take it back. You can't take it back. This movie is way more better than Clueless.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
This is a bigger movie. It's a much bigger
Production.
production for sure.
Yeah, it took longer than, what, a month? Isn't that what she said?
40 days?
Yeah. Yeah, this took over a year to film.
Yeah.
On one lot.
I'm going to look at this real quick. Okay. I'm going to give you the
So sad.
the IMDb ratings for both movies.
Might
Should
cry.
I do that?
Well, I've already looked them up.
So the IMDb rating for Moulin Rouge was
It's like a 7.6, right?
7.6.
Yeah.
So what was
This one's
Clueless?
higher.
What was Clueless?
I don't know. I think it was like a 7.4. I'll be honest.
Clueless is a 6.9.
Okay, then.
So it's a half a star. Moulin Rouge is a half a star better. And how much more production and filming and cost?
Whatever. This is why it's his and her, you guys. His and her.
If you're here for the drama, then we've got what you need.
All right, what movie am I going to have to suffer through next?
Okay, I know this one's not going to be a 4.5 or a 4.
I know you kind of cheated on that one with bringing in.
Gladiator?
Yes, you cheated.
I did not cheat. You pulled Moulin Rouge, which was, I guess it was a well-received movie. I
Not
don't know.
to you.
All right. Not to everybody. I don't know where it stands.
Which won more
in the
awards?
prevalent. No, I mean Gladiator was a better movie. I mean,
In your opinion.
according to the Oscar count. No, okay. So on this,
What do they know?
it's
We're
all
really fine,
rigged.
guys. It's fine.
It's all rigged. So what I chose, I know this. I want to do a comedy because we've kind of been in the action big movies. So this one's kind of a little bit slower paced, a comedy, a little bit different from what we've been doing. This one you're probably not gonna like. I don't care. I want to watch it again.
I'm not
You might like
watching
it. Not Tommy Boy. I know.
And I'm not watching Black Sheep.
Not Black Sheep. And I don't know if you've seen this. You probably haven't seen it. I don't even know. But Office Space.
No, I have not seen
The
this.
1999 movie Office
I've always
Space.
wanted to, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good.
Kind of don't want
It's
to.
it's a different humor. It's not slapstick. It's not. It's a good comedy. I think you'll like moments of it.
No, gonna be a
So-
first one.
Oh, stop.
It's time for payback.
I know, right? You got to even up the score.
That's right.
Your average is way too high. You got to get it back. You got to get some low ones in there.
I know. When you go from Gladiator to Office Space.
Office Space. There's a couple of them I thought about, but this one's like an hour and a half long. It's nothing big. It is on Max. So if you're subscribed to Max, then you can watch Office Space. It's got a lot of great quotable lines. There's some that we'll talk about that I say all the time. It's one of my favorites. So look forward to that. I hope you enjoy it. And please change the look on your face right now.
I feel so defeated.
This isn't a competition.
It is.
No, it's not a competition. It's
I really
introducing.
don't look forward to my picks.
No, I think you've had great picks. I've enjoyed
Nothing above a 3.
That's okay.
Now I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I'm glad you like Pretty Woman.
You've probably introduced me to better movies, like just on our normal life, like not for this podcast. You've already introduced me some good movies. I can't think of any right now, but
I'm gonna have to bring out the big guns. I thought I brought out big guns for Moulin Rouge, but there's a lot of parts in that movie I didn't think about that I didn't realize that. I was like, oh yeah, he's not gonna like this part. Yeah,
but you hadn't seen it in a while, which was fun for you to see it again. It was fun for me to see for the first time. I really like your picks.
You really liked it?
I really like your picks, regardless of how I think about
it.
I think
I'll take that.
You have good picks.
I have good
Doesn't
taste.
mean you have good taste. And they're not bad. They're entertaining movies.
Okay.
You do a good job. I don't hate any of them.
I know I do a good job. I just don't.
I know.
I don't like
hate
rating
any of
them
them.
so low.
I don't hate any of them. They're like 2.5 and 3. That's average or above average.
No, that's less than half.
2.5 is half.
I would have settled for at least a 3.
Settled for a 3?
Just kidding. I'm not going to persuade you. Let's end the podcast now.
Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you liked the last few minutes of drama. I'll probably have to cut some of this out.
Real and raw, baby. Real and raw.
So I hope you enjoyed the pod. Make sure you're writing a review. Find us on the socials. Tell us what you think about it. Tell us what your rating would be.
Do you agree or disagree?
Who do you agree with more?
Because I'm just saying, I've had people message me and think you've been wrong about a lot of your ratings.
You need to read some of those. We need to read that next time. You're going to read some of your conversations that you've had with some people. So we'll have a poll out somewhere, or a two-sided who's against who. Team Megan and Team Caleb.
I like it.
So,
I think I could win that one.
You definitely win that one.
All right, we'll wrap it up.
We'll wrap it up. I know, right? All right, thanks everybody. See you next time on the His and Her Rewatch podcast.
All right, bye guys. See you next time.